Hello there guys, UltraGamer64 here, and today I've got a brand new video for you guys. Today we're going to be going over my my Twisty puzzle collection. Little did you guys know, I'm a collector of Twisty puzzles, as you can see. I completely suck at them, and most of these, well, a good majority I can solve, but mostly not. I'm going to be doing something a little bit different for this video though, editing-wise. This is going to be a heavily edited video. There are going to be speed solves of some of these cubes, the ones that I can solve anyways. I'm going to be skipping around to each cube so I don't necessarily have to just pick it out and then kind of have the other cubes in the background, kind of like that. So this video is going to be decently edited, but I'm sure you guys won't mind that. So anyways, we're going to be starting up at the top left, going this way, and then we'll go down here going this way. So anyway guys, let's get into the first cube. So here we have the gear shifts. I have two of these actually. This is the first one I ordered. It's extremely cheap, as you can tell. It pulls apart very crudely and it does not turn well. This is made by some off-brand company from a toy store. Not exactly sure which toy store, but very crudely made, very hard to turn, and it's just not that good of a puzzle. Now, in comparison to this gear shift, let it focus. This one is made by Mefferts. As you can see, it pulls apart very easily, turns very, very nicely. Very, very nice cube. This one I actually can solve. Let it focus again. Come on. There we go. This cube I actually can solve. So, in this next segment, I'm going to be speed solving this cube. So, here we go. And there we go guys, there is the gear shift solved. As you can see, I can't actually solve this cube. So on to the next one. Next up we have the Rubiks Snake. This one is a little bit different from other Twisty puzzles. It doesn't really necessarily have a solve state at all. I just use it for like a stress reliever. As you can see, has the simple colors from the Rubik's Cube. Let me straighten it out in a line here. There we go. Red, yellow, green, white, orange, and blue. Same on the other side. The only ways that it turns at an angle like this. Let it focus real quick. But it turns on an angle, and it's a pretty cool puzzle, but not really a puzzle. You get what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't really scramble, and it doesn't necessarily have a solve state. You can make whatever you want out of it. Even make a rocket if you want to. And here are my barrels. I actually bought two of these from the dollar store because I knew that I would not be able to solve it. This is the only puzzle that I have that shapeshifts. Basically, when a puzzle shapeshifts, it will lose its shape. For example, taking the barrel. Don't worry, I know how to solve this. As you can see, it will change its shape. So that is pretty darn cool. This one does not have very good turning. This one's turning is very, very bad. This one's turning is better, but sadly I mixed up the good one. Normally whenever this happens, unless I can't afford it, if I know I will not be able to solve a puzzle, I normally buy a second one for display. So, yeah, this is sadly one of those puzzles that I cannot solve. Next up, we have the Rubiks Void. This is your basic 3x3 Rubik's Cube, but it's just missing its centers. I have actually solved the top layer, so that's something for me at least. Normally I can't even do that, but I have solved the top layer. I don't know how to solve the other layers, but I got something. I literally cannot solve a Rubik's Cube to save my own life, but if someone asked me to solve the top layer, I can do it. See? Isn't that blue a pretty color, though? But anyways, guys, this cube is very, very cool. If someone is able to solve this, then I can see how it would be very cool. The turning does lock up quite a bit, but once you play with it for a while, it's alright, I guess. It locks up a lot. Did I mess up my layer? No, I didn't. Alright, so moving on to the next puzzle. Next up is the gear ball. This I can actually solve. The turning is amazing. Like, look at this. Doesn't lock up, doesn't do anything. Like, this puzzle is one of my best puzzles. No stickers, all plastic, everything like that. And like I said, this is one of the few puzzles that I can solve. So let's get into the speed solve. And there we go, guys. I have now solved the gear ball. Took me quite a while, but yeah, still solved. Next up, we have the missing link. This puzzle basically turns only at the top and the bottom, and then you slide the tiles upward and downward. Now, this one I can solve. I have solved it before, many times. But the thing is, whenever I do solve it, I don't understand how I do it. So, I'm not going to mix this up and do a speed solve of it because I literally don't know how long it could take. It could take me 2 minutes to an hour. Like, I can solve it. I have solved it before, but it's just one of those weird puzzles where I don't exactly know what I do or I don't pay attention to what I do. But anyways, I really like this puzzle, and when I have the time, I tend to mess around with it a lot. And here's probably the most unique and probably my favorite puzzle that I have in my collection. Definitely it was my first puzzle, actually. It is called the Platypus. It has the sides of red, yellow, blue, and green. The ends turn like this. Very crude, I know they don't turn the best, but it works. It works for what it is. And then the faces move. Basically, the solve state are you got to get these arrows together, the colors on the faces correct, and then the letters together. This is actually more challenging than you would think, but I can actually solve this pretty well. I can't solve it the best out of all my puzzles, but I definitely can solve it. So let's get to the speed solve. Alright guys, and there we go. There is the solved platypus. This one took me quite a bit. I have not solved this thing in forever, so it took me a little while to figure out what to do, but once I got the hang of it, it was not too hard at all. So the next puzzle we have is quite a unique one, I would say. This is the Rubiks slide. So this is an electronic Rubik's Cube kind of thing. Just a second. Let's turn it on. We'll play on easy just to give you guys an idea. Alright, so basically you push the button up top and it shows you where the dot is supposed to be. So you just move it into place, as so. Focus on it a little bit, or try to at least. Alright, there's an easy solve. This is more of... I don't know how to describe it. It's like a skill game. It's not really Rubik's Cube, you know? It's kind of hard to explain. I don't really know how to explain this puzzle very well. But, there is the Rubiks slide. Next up, we have the Skew Ultimate. As you guys can tell, this is one that I have never been able to solve. It's also made by Mefferts, but, I can actually solve the Skew Extreme. But when I bought this thing, I figured since I can solve the Skew Extreme, I'd be able to solve the Skew Ultimate, and the Skew Ultimate was all too happy to correct me. This is a very hard puzzle. I don't know if I just don't know what to do. I don't know if I was expecting it to be more like a Skewb than it actually is, but it is just a very challenging puzzle to me, and I have never even been close to solving it, so I want to solve it. It's a cool puzzle, but I just can't. Next up, we have my 2x2s. This one is scrambled, obviously. It does not turn well at all. And like I said earlier, if I ever have the money, then I always buy a second one. This is my better turning one that always stays solved, just for display. This one turns tons better, like I just said, compared to the other one. They're both by Rubiks, but the one on the left is more updated than the one on the right. I ended up buying this one from like a vintage toy store, and this one is like a brand new one from Myers or something like that. But, oh my god, that freaked me out for a second. I actually thought it was solved. I was like, guys, I'm magic. But anyways, there's my 2x2s. And here's my Skew Extreme. Definitely one of my favorite puzzles of all time. I love this thing to death. When I bought it, I honestly bought it just to sit on my shelf and not really do much of anything with it. I did not think that I would be able to solve it. But then eventually I was able to find a very helpful tutorial on YouTube, and I was able to figure out how to solve it. So, I guess nothing else to do now, but go on to the speed solve. And there you go, guys. There's a speed solve of the Skew Extreme. The next puzzle is my Pyraminx from Mefferts. This puzzle is the same as the missing link puzzle. Sometimes I can solve it, sometimes I cannot. It just depends. I'm not going to try and speed solve it because, like I said with the missing link, it could either take 5 minutes or it could take an hour. I literally do not know. It doesn't really turn so well anymore. When I first got it, it did, but it's definitely showing its age. I've had it for a few years now, and it's definitely getting up there in age. The Pyraminx is not holding up for me, guys. But other than that, a very nice puzzle, and very happy to have it in my collection. And the final one that, when I saw it in the store, I got a complete kick out of. This is the Rubiks Panda, or Rubiks Kids, or whatever you want to call it. It's basically a 3x1x2. It's very, very cool, and it has orange, blue, white, yellow, red, and green, and I can imagine it being very challenging for kids, but obviously I can solve it. So, let's get to the speed solve. Literally that easy. This puzzle is extremely easy, but I can see it being challenging for little kids, so it is a cool addition to my collection. Alright guys, and there you have it. My entire Twisty puzzle collection. I hope that you guys liked my new style of editing and filming for these types of collection videos. If I do any more like this in the future, I will more than likely be using that same style. So tell me what you guys thought about it down in the comments below. I would love to hear your feedback on it. First time I've really shot a video in that style before, like the heavy editing type. So anyway guys, if you enjoyed this video and you would like to see more, then please be sure to leave a giant like, and remember to keep on gaming, stay amazing, and I will see you guys next time.